once again for the renegade master. Back 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 once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and we are back to Love Island season 10 episode 33. I'm just gonna start off by saying, what is wrong with some of these people in this villa? Like, seriously, well and truly, what is wrong with them? Like, do they not realise that people are watching them across the nation or wherever it's being filmed and looking at how they behave with each other? Like, seriously, do they honestly forget that the cameras are there? Because the shit that went on in this episode, bloody hell. And you know it has to do with Ty and Ella and Sammy and Jess. So as I always say, we'll just get straight into it. Right, I cannot defend Ty in this one. Like, totally cannot defend Ty in this one at the end of the day, because he was acting like a see you next Tuesday. That's how Ty was acting all throughout that day with Ella when they got up the next morning. Because I'm kind of like, okay, you've had the whole night now and part of the day to process your feelings and figure out what it is you're going to do now. So you can't keep blaming the fact that you're now single and Ella made you single. Yes, that was the premise of it. If she came back in with someone else, you was gonna be single. That's how it goes. That's how the game is played. So you can't blame Ella now for how you are then behaving and portraying your damn self, because at the end of the day, the shit that Ty was throwing down in this episode was absolutely ridiculous. Full on ridiculous. It was absolute childish. And when I say childish, I mean childish behavior. Dude was full on taking the Michael out of Ella, like proper taking the Michael out of Ella. At the end of the day, Ella made the changes that you requested. She didn't sleep with Uzi. She got him and made him his coffee. She wasn't going around kissing up Uzi or anything like that while in the presence of Ty, because her feelings, her head and her heart, as I said, is with Ty at the end of the day. And that just gave her more gumption to do something more when she realized that Ty was standing there by himself waiting for her to come in, basically. So she has the talk. So she goes and she has the talk with Uzi, tells him where her head is at, basically, and that her link is basically with Ty, and that's where she's going to put her eggs, in that basket with Ty. Uzi took it like a dude. He was fine with it, because at the end of the day, he'd just come in and he didn't really appreciate in terms of the connection between her and Ty, because I don't think Ella explained that connection to him enough in terms of what her connection is with Ty within the villa at that point in time. Because I thought he saw a gap there, and he thought he was going to be able to like step in that gap and be able to swing her head his way. When they're in Casa Amor, okay, he did to an extent, but not fully to an extent, because even then she wasn't really physically, she wasn't showing any physical stances with him, like she wouldn't kiss him and stuff like that, but they were just talking and getting to know each other. So my other thing as well is Ty knows he's playing he's on some type of demon time. Ty knows he's on some type of demon time, yeah, just to get back at Ella, which is pathetic in and of itself, to be fair. So I don't understand why Katie then is then taking the bait, because she knows exactly what Ty is doing. She knows what type of person Ella is like, that Ella won't stand for that shit. You're supposed to be on good terms with Ella. She's supposed to be, as I say, your girl, because I've always said you can't trust people in that place. You cannot trust them. But yet you're going to fall into line in terms of what it is that Ty wants you to do. You said you're doing it on the guise of, well, you're single, you can do what you like. Well, no. With others, you probably could do what you like. Like Uzi's free now. Scott's free now. You know what I mean? Them ones you could do what you like with. But you know there's a situation still going on between Ella and Ty. And you know Ty has full on feelings for that girl, and you know that that boy is doing everything in his power in order to make Ella feel like shit because of the decision that she made. So why then would you put yourself in the fucking firing line? That makes no sense to me. Why the fuck would you put yourself in the fucking firing line? Because all that tells me is that you're the person I need to watch when it comes to being around my man. That's all that's going to tell me about Katie. You are the person I need to watch when it comes to being around my man. Because yes, you were telling him, oh, don't be doing all this to get back at Ella because it's not great and I'm not going to be involved and da 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 da. But then in the next breath, you're laughing, you're letting him stroke your hair, and then you're jumping on his back in the pool with Ella sat there. You're taking the piss. You're sitting in between his legs, and you're allowing him to put his legs over yours. That was a no-no. That was a full-on no-no in my books for both of them. Full-on no-no. Ty was acting like a dickhead. As I said, he was acting like a see you next Tuesday at the end of the day. So basically, it was right that Ella pulled the bullshit up, basically, because she couldn't keep going on with it. The only thing I do say in terms of Ella is, like, she knew he wanted a reaction. She kept on saying it. He wanted a reaction, but then she kept on saying, but I'm not going to give him one. But you did. You knew point blank why he was doing that shit and the reaction that he wanted from you, and you fed into that and you gave it to him by literally walking over there and saying to both, oh, is this what we're doing then? What is this? What are you doing? Is this what we're doing then? Basically, which then caused them to have a huge bust up in front of everybody else. And I must say, it must have been full on awkward for Uzi, because Uzi's name was brought up by Ty when he says, well, you brought Uzi in, and poor Uzi's just sitting there in the firing line. And I'm thinking it must have been full on shit city for Uzi, man, because he did not cause that. At the end of the day, he did not cause that, so his name shouldn't really be brought up in the conversation that they're having at that point, because now you're then going into tit for tat territory. Because at the end of the day, Ella's bringing Ty up about the behavior that he's displaying right at that moment with Katie. So then it moves on, like from them to they go over to the sunbeds and they have their chat. And this is where Ty at this point actually opens up and actually communicates his feelings to Ella and the fact that he does want her. And this is what I mean. Some of the people in here really don't know how to communicate with each other. Like, they sometimes don't think logically, and then they don't actually communicate their wants and needs effectively with each other, to the point where you literally, as I said, they had the screaming match, and then they went and sat down, and then as everything calmed, they talked, they spoke. The only thing I would say with Ty is he needs to stop blaming Ella about this, you made me single, so this is what I'm gonna do. No, dude, dial that shit back in, wind your neck all the way back in, and sit in your feelings, sort them out as you did, and then talk, rather than doing the bullshit behaviour that you are doing, because it makes you look pathetic. At the end of the day, it makes you look pathetic, and it definitely shows that you've never been in a relationship before. Definitely shows you've never been in a relationship before. Now, Ty has got to learn some new skills in how to communicate effectively, and how to, especially when situations arise that he's going to have to communicate, rather than doing shit in front of her face, because if that happens, that relationship will never work. It will break down completely. So then you have I think it's Ella that's speaking to Jess, and Jess is kind of fed up because now she's getting to the point where she's realizing that this is the third girl that Sammy has been with and has constantly put her to the back burner. What she wants is someone to be 100% into her and she 100% into them, because right now she's given 100% to Sammy and Sammy's giving her fuck all back. To be honest with you, Sammy is giving her fuck all back. Sammy is acting like a prized plum at the end of the day, because I think he'll have a good person in Jess, but he keeps going for his preference, and sometimes your preference don't prefer you. So at the end of the day, you've got this girl here that you know you're attracted to, that you know you can speak to, that you know makes you laugh, that you know makes you feel good, and vice versa. But yet you're gonna sit there and have a dry ass conversation with Amber, because the conversations that he was trying to have with Amber, you could tell it was awkward as hell. Fucking awkward. Absolutely bloody awkward. I mean, they couldn't say 2 words with each other, and then it was like a massive gap in between. And I was just like, this conversation is so dry. I don't understand why you picked her for. I really don't understand why you picked her. But then when he's talking to Ty, he's there saying about how he wants to see if this person would turn his head. Why? Why at the end of the day? Because it just makes you look like a prat. And this is what I mean. They're not emotional. They're not emotional aware, and their heads are not screwed on right. They can't be screwed on right, because I'm like, is this how you conduct yourself through a relationship? Like, you got the person that you want there telling you that they want to be chosen first. They want to be put first by you, but yet you're still saying you want more time to see how things go with Amber, because you want to see if this girl turns your head. Look, my dude, if the girl did not turn your head from the time Jess came back into the villa, that girl is not going to turn your head, because your loyalty should be with Jess. Yes, I understand Jess and Sammy at that point was still single. They weren't coupled off with each other, but at the end of the day, they knew that he knew that there was a connection between the both of them that was worth exploring. So for him to pick someone else as well is a fucking dog move too, to be fair. So then when he's talking to Jess and saying because Jess came into her strength completely, and said, you know what, fuck this for a fucking puppy show. I'ma fucking tell you exactly what I want, and this is what I want, and you're gonna hear me say it. And that's what she did. And she told him. He didn't really have nothing to say except for, I need some time. What more time do you need, Sammy? What more time do you need? I mean, this is the third fucking girl. What more time do you need in order to say, yes, Jess, I will put my all into you and see how things go? It's not that hard. Do you know what I mean? It is not that flipping hard. So then it jumps back to Ella and Ty. They go and have their talk, because Ty's talked to the lads, told them where exactly he is. And as Zach said, go get your girl, fam, at the end of the day. So that's what he went to go and do, went to go and get her back. They had the conversation. And as I said, when they're both calm, when Ella and Ty are both calm, they can effectively, openly communicate with each other. And Ty has got to a point where he's literally telling Ella, like, I was hurt, my ego was bruised, and yada, 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 if you know what I mean. So he was literally open with Ella, telling her where he was, that he does want to have a relationship with her, that he does want to try again, and all he wants is her. And she liked that basically, and she reciprocated back. But I would have to say that the end bit where it was just a peck on the lips and then this quick little hug, yes, I saw the little side eye camera shot of Ty looking straight at it was like he was looking straight at the camera. It was a weird shot, but I peeped it when he hugged her. And then as they turned away, he quickly moved his arm from over her shoulder. So here's the hoping things go okay between them two. And then on top of that, you had Uzi starting to begin to talk to Katie, which was good to see. I don't know what will happen with them two. We'll have to wait and see. And then we had Sammy speak to Amber and literally tell Amber where his head was at, and the fact of it is he's going to be picking Jess. And he asked her then if she was okay, and she was saying, yeah, everything's fine. Amber, we could see your face, mate. It wasn't fine, because you were betting on Sammy, like for real betting on Sammy, and you really wanted to get to know him. But as I said before, Sammy didn't bring you in there with the best and truest of intentions, to be fair. So I hope Sammy does Jess right, to be honest with you. I hope he does do Jess right, because Jess is an amazing girl, to be fair. I like Jess. I'll have to say, the people that I like in there, I like Jess, I like Kath, I like Whit, I do like Ella. And I'm trying to see, out of the lads, who do I like? Who do I like out of the lads? I like Elam. I do like Elam. The other ones, I don't know, it's hit and miss with the other ones. Zach has completely calmed his ass down, like completely, since Molly's been in there. But the man never looks happy. Since he's been coupled off with Molly, I've not seen, unless you like can tell me anything differently, but I've not seen that man smile once. Like, for real, I've not seen that man smile once since all he's coupled off with Molly again. But as I said, he does tell her that he's happy, and I think they're gonna make an excellent go of it. And then yeah, with the others, I just Mitch. You don't even see or hear of Mitch at the moment. To be fair, you forgot that Mitch and Abby were freaking in there. It's been so quiet with them too. He ain't got into anybody else's business and making drama out of nothing. So yeah, that's a good thing for Mitch at the end of the day. But yeah, there's nothing else that I can like really point out. I know that Kath and Scott had their conversations, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Kath is not going to set her sights back on Scott. As I said, when people go in there, it is, if they're not with anybody and they do tend to talk to someone, I do honestly believe that they're just a place filler at that stage until something better can come along, or they have more of a better connection with someone else. Yes, Kath was starting to build her connection with Scott, but it wasn't to the point where she had the connection that she has with Elam with Scott, whereas that connection was just kind of straight away. And as I said, with Elam, he was doing things for her, like getting her breakfast, getting her orange juice, making sure she was okay. He was speaking good things into her, and that's what she liked. She was open and receptive to that, because she wasn't getting that from Scott, and you could clearly see she wasn't getting that from Scott. And that's not a criticism of Scott in any way, shape or form, because I understood he felt hurt in terms of her coming back in, but at the end of the day, he didn't necessarily communicate to her where his head was at in regards to them and their connection before she was whipped away to Casa Amor. So Kath was none the wiser. She was able to explore and then get on with it at the end of the day. So that is all, my renegades, and I shall be back soon, especially after the tidbits of that might happen after watching movie night. But as I say, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications button, and I'll be back on your screen very soon. Peace out.